Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, December the 6th, 2023. Just doing a real estate tap in with you for today. So it looks like, interest rates have come back down closer to 7%. Looks like last month, at some point in the month, they were around 8. And that's not the APR rates typically. That includes all the fees and everything like that. So, rates are somewhere about 7.25 to 7.5 when you include all that. So they've come back down somewhat. And you're starting to see refinancing going up. And this is interesting because most people in the country, well over half the people in the country have mortgage rates that are currently lower than the rates that we have now. So this would lead me to believe that if you are refinancing, you're refinancing to pull money out. You're doing a cash out refinance. You're taking advantage of some of the equity that has built up in the property, because if you look at statistics, most people have, I think on average, and this is the average for the country, all different price ranges and everything, about $200,000 of equity. So obviously in certain markets, lower price markets, you're not going to have $200,000. And then you have some of the higher priced areas where you have millions of dollar homes and things like that, where you have, higher amounts of equity. But the point is that most people in most markets pretty much have some form of equity. So if you're starting to see an increase in refinancing, it has to be, or it's a good chance that it's to a cash out refinance. So you're pulling money out. So, and this could be for a number of things, but a lot of times, it shows signs of, distress. People are taking money out of their homes so they can continue to pay their bills. So this could have, there could be a lag effect on this, but, if the market does change, if we have somewhat of this harder landing that some people are predicting in terms of the economy having some type of crash, these people who are refinancing now, pulling money out, and then you're going to have maybe values come down. But, we still have to see, because, there is still low inventory out there. So prices are remaining pretty much, where they are. So, but if you're pulling money out of your house right now, because you would have most likely, I think over like 60%, 70% of people have mortgage rates under 6%, somewhere between like 2.5 to like 6%, or 6.5%. And that's predominantly a large portion of the country has interest rates, in that range. So if we're starting to see more people refinance, they're most likely doing this cash out refinance. And hopefully, people who are not having to pay their bills with this cash out refinance, they're doing it to, look at other opportunities out there that they can invest in, because you're refinancing at a higher rate, so your payment is going to go up. So there's a couple ways to look at it. Like I said, are people taking the money out to pay their bills and maintain, or are most of these people taking money out so then they can go and take advantage of other opportunities, whether it be the stock market, real estate, whatever the case may be. But ideally, you would want to be taking money out, to look for other opportunities. But I think that the numbers will show that most people are taking it out or a high percentage of people are taking it out to pay their bills, and that could be a sign of things to come. So something to keep your eye on. Um, and another thing when it comes to refinancing, when because we always try to bring it over to the note side of things. When you create a note at 10 and a half, 11%, you have the ability to refinance someone, and you could do it at a lower rate if you are the note holder. Somebody could be in the property for X amount of time, paid down the unpaid balance, and then now wants to refinance to kind of lower their payment. You have the ability to do that for them. And so maybe you had like 10.5%, and you've collected it for a certain amount of time, and then now you want to bring them down to maybe where things are now in the current market. But what happens is the benefit of that, because the payment is lower, is going to be lower, but the benefit is the clock starts all over again. So when that person refinances, or you refinance that person, instead of them having a 25 years left on it, or 23 years left, however long they paid it down, now they're back up to 30. And so you get to collect that payment over another 30 years, plus get so that's the benefit of it. And then a lot of times when we're taking over these deals subject to, there's an underlying mortgage that has been paying down even longer. Usually it's been paid down 7, 8 years, 5 years, something like that. So when we restart the clock for our buyer, there's more of a spread in between what we're paying down and then what we're going to collect. So that's a great thing about understanding how to create notes on properties, a property that you may have now. If you're somebody in the house, you paid it down 10 years, 15 years, now you get to create financing for somebody for the next 30 years. And then they're going to continue to help you pay down your current balance. And then at a certain point, that house, that underlying mortgage is going to get paid off. It's going to get paid off, and you're going to have the house free and clear, but you're still going to be collecting over the course of 30 years from the person that you created the financing for. So it's a great time to think about that and apply it to your situation, and see if it's it makes more sense to create a note and become the bank on the property. So everybody have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.